Everyone on the Earth is keeping a careful eye on the newest developments in the world's biggest global conflict. Since the Second World War, there are fears that the world could be heading into an awful global recession as a result of a new wave of virus cases spreading across China. Before we get started today's discussion, don't forget to give our channel a thumbs up and subscribe to ensure you don't miss any future videos about this ongoing conflict. We haven't been able to keep up with what's going on in China. As the country that has single-handedly lifted the world out of the depths of depression during the global financial crisis continues to worsen the financial and economic conditions since Wuhan, China has been dealing with the largest viral outbreak in its history. A new wave of infections has sent cases soaring in the last few weeks, according to local reports, with 16 provinces reporting new virus infections as megacities like Beijing, Tianjin, Shanghai, and Chongqing see the biggest surge in over 2 years. Over the weekend, the National Health Commission reported that cases topped 1,000 for 2 consecutive days. New locally transmitted cases increased to over 3,100, driven by an increase in symptoms. All businesses, except those that supplied food, fuel, and other necessities, have been ordered to close or work from home, according to Bloomberg's report. Authorities have also restricted access to Shanghai by suspending bus services and locking down the city of Shenzhen, which is home to over 17.5 million people and is known as China's Silicon Valley. 68 analysts predict that the crash might surpass the 72-day threshold it achieved during the 2008 global financial crisis in U.S. markets if it occurs during the next several days. It was the worst day for Chinese stocks since 2008, when they lost 10% in a single day. Chinese corporations refused to provide American auditors with their financial records, causing a worry of cross-stent defaults, which sparked the measure. Right now, the market is in a state of panic. In an interview with Bloomberg, Paul Pang, a fund manager at Pegasus Fund Managers Limited who sold nearly all of his interest in Alibaba, stated when Sino-US tensions rise, it's not impossible to impose sanctions on China if the country refuses to take a side in the Ukrainian crisis. It has been one of the worst performing tech indices since the Ukraine crisis broke out, with a 17% decrease over the previous 2 weeks, and on track for its greatest monthly drop ever, said Jan Kaiwan, an analyst at China Fortune Securities. We don't see any rebound indications at the moment, he added. Because of rising oil and other commodity prices, investors are worried about inflation and a weakening consumer demand in China. And they fear that Beijing will soon launch a new regulatory crackdown on online games. The Chinese bond market is also collapsing, with yields on the 10-year sovereign note climbing to 2.86%, the highest yield this year, as investors shift toward capital outflows. Cracks are appearing in every part of China's government bond market. As a result of default contagion, large real estate developers are becoming high-risk bets. Chameleon Group and Logan Group have been demoted in the domestic and international investment ratings because of unreported debt and poor governance worries. So far, at least 14 developers have defaulted on their loans in China's property market, which has led to the collapse of China Evergrande. Even as China's leading developers continue to experience a steady decline in home sales month after month, they agree that the housing industry is practically stuck in the first 2 months of 2022. China sales at Huancore, the nation's second-largest real estate developer by sales, fell by 44%, while Country Garden Holdings went down by 24%, and state-run properties saw their sales fall by 12%. According to the China Securities Journal, an official outlet for the well-known Bank of China, loose monetary policy is now essential to maintain growth. As zero-hedge analysts recently asked, how long can the US and China monetary policies diverge before something permanently breaks? All of the current global problems threaten to drive the world's 2 most powerful economies into a devastating recession, causing ripple effects around the globe and escalating already existing troubles in other countries. We've reached a turning point, and things will never be the same again despite what we've seen so far. We've reached a point where we can no longer rely on the US and China to save the global economy from a full-blown financial crisis, as they have done in the past. Without their support, the world will collapse into chaos.